This is the CHRILLCAST. I'm Chris.
And I'm Will.
And
What is it? Wild Card Wednesday.
and for Wildcard Wednesday, this is really my topic, and Will's just tagging along for it.
Mm-hmm.
This is something I feel very strongly about, and
Hey,
I'll
Chris, I have an opinion too. Okay.
okay.
I played this game in Best Buy.
All right. Well, I will lay it out for you. Okay, the infamous series needs another chance on
Wrong.
current gen consoles. All right, I will lay this out for you guys. The infamous series was absolutely one of the best series to debut on the PS3. With the PS4, a rush to market launch of Infamous Second Son, followed by a shorter add-on titled Infamous First Light, which is technically just part of Infamous Second Son. It's like a prequel to it, essentially, for one of the characters of Infamous Second Son. The series have severely diminished in popularity, and Sucker Punch has now focused on the hit game Ghost of Tsushima. Sucker Punch cannot do a non-hit game. Every game they make is just pure gold. Previously, they worked on Sly Cooper. Will, I bet you know Sly Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
and this just in, Xbox buys Sucker Punch.
No, they're a Sony. They're basically a Sony developer. Sucker Punch has previously worked on the Sly Cooper series, and basically every series they've worked on has been pure gold, and then they abandon it and they move on to the next thing. So, with the last release of Infamous being from 2014 and the PS5 being 2 generations past the original Infamous release, which was over a decade ago, which is really sad at this point, Sony could re-release. Wait a second. With the original Infamous release. I'm sorry. The original Infamous release is over a decade ago. Not every Infamous release. That'd be complete blasphemy because they had 2015 release. Okay. At the very least, Sony could do a re-release or remaster of the original 2 games for PS5. And
to gauge interest at the very least, to see if there's still a population that would be interested.
Because the game was really great, but it had some issues with the way it ran in the PS3 time frame, because the generation of the PS3 was not nearly as powerful as the PS4 and PS5.
Mm-hmm.
So the other thing is they did do a re-release of Spider-Man on PS4 and PS5 with the Miles Morales tagline.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no reason why they can't remaster or redo this game. It's on PS now and it gets a lot of playtime. So why not re-release this series? There's literally
Make it
nothing
a little bit
that
brighter though.
No, that's part of the atmosphere. You can't do that.
It's so dark though.
It
looks so much like a PS3 game. Oh my gosh.
Well, when I watched a review this recently, it was funny because this is the most PS2, PS3 game that exists.
That's funny.
So there's that. So my thought on Infamous in 2021, at the very least, please give us Infamous 1 in remastered HD on the PS4, PS5. I would be super happy about that. At the best, let's get another game in this series starring Cole McGrath. I mean, it'd be so easy to put him in another game, actually. And I'll tell you how. They could literally take the story where he's the beast from the future and how he got there. And then you could change the events somehow. Or we introduce a conduit with the ability to time travel and you save Cole McGrath. There's that.
You love time travel. We were just talking about that in the last video.
It just works so well.
Every game needs time travel.
Pretty much. Why not? Especially Back to the Future 4.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, don't say that again.
I just don't see why Sony would leave this game in the dust. I mean, they do so well with superhero games. Spider-Man is a blockbuster hit. Can you imagine if they gave the amount of marketing to the Infamous series they did the Spider-Man series? This game would be a super hit. I mean, who doesn't want to play with electricity?
True.
Cole McGrath is more interesting than Delson, though. I will say that. The main protagonist of Infamous Second Son is not nearly as cool as Cole. And I don't think very many people would disagree with me.
Okay.
Plus, electricity
I didn't even realize they're 2 different characters.
Yeah, it's Delson. I can't never remember this guy's last name, but he's just not nearly as heroic or interesting as Cole McGrath. Cole McGrath loses, well, I don't want to spoil it, but he loses somebody very close to him during the game, and that's kind of fuels his fall from grace, where you can either become a bad guy or a good guy. And I kind of love that about the Infamous series, where you can kind of be like a total horrible person, or you can be a really, really, really good protagonist. And it's not based on any decisions you make necessarily. It's based on the fact of whether you kill civilians or not for your own gain. Every kill of a civilian is like a step towards the dark path.
That's the only path.
And it's the other thing that's funny is if you totally give into your powers as a bad guy, like your powers are way more violent and way more powerful than
Sounds
if you
definitely
are a
more
good
appealing.
guy.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I've played it both ways. It's super fun either way. There's that there's a Fable moment, like at the end of Fable where you make the choice between saving the many or the few or like
Yes.
just taking the money. Well, the money thing's not there, but you can choose to save the many or the few. There's a decision in there for that, and it did remind me of Fable. It was pretty cool.
Cool.
And the other really cool thing about this game is the comic book aspect of how they tell a story. I love the comic book aesthetic for telling a story. It's so much fun.
I always like cutscenes that do look like comic book panels.
I love this. It's like literally one of my favorite things about Infamous because I literally feel like a superhero in a comic book.
Mm-hmm.
And he's omnipotent with electrical powers. What's not to like?
Exactly.
One of the few games I platinumed was Infamous 2. Infamous 1, I'm still working on. I'll get there eventually. Love this game, though. Love this series. Love this game. Currently playing through Infamous Second Son for the first time. I did eventually get a copy of Cole's Legacy, which is extremely difficult to acquire if you're in the US and you didn't have this game on release. Infamous Second Son, Cole's Legacy is not an easy DLC to get.
Okay.
If you live in Europe, no problem. Just pay $3. You get it. Get it on PSN. There you go. Anyways, Infamous. I want another game badly. I don't care how you do it. Figure it out.
Make Chris happy.
So, as always, I'm Chris.
And I'm Will.
And we will see you
On the next CHRILLCAST. Bye, guys.
I wish I had like an electrical effect to put there.